Greetings, royal family. Thanks for clicking on the video. I'm back. You're back. Welcome back. So we are on episode 4 of the great value version of Girlfriends. Boy, this one was a doozy. Did you guys watch? Hopefully so. All right. So the episode opens up where it left off last week. Obviously, Gary wants to marry Andy. So this whole photo shoot model, excuse, Gary set up a whole wedding. Okay, he got the minister, he got the girls to participate. That's why he told all of the sisters to show up. They were promised $500 to participate, to put on their bridesmaids' dresses. Gary's dressed in his tux, his cobalt blue tux. The sisters ain't having it. Okay. Karen and Danny call out Gary's controlling behavior. Now, Andy says all of this is beautiful. Of course. What a nitwit, right? Then Aaron, right? Karen's little thing, or whatever he is, Pastor Aaron, walks in. He's aware of all of this because he's the one that picked up the marriage license for Gary. Both parties have to sign the marriage license, correct? But I guess it's probably different in Tyler Perry Studios. Andy asks, like, well, what about a marriage license? Don't worry about it. My main man, Baldy over here, Aaron, already picked up the marriage license that I guess Gary might have forged Andy's signature. I don't know how that works on Tyler Perry Studios, but it's his world, right? He's the writer. So Karen tells Andy that they need to talk, and they drag her in the back to talk to her. Fatima excuses herself because this ain't got nothing to do with her, honey. That's Andy and her sisters. Fatima just came on board, okay? So she goes outside. She excuses herself. Again, Karen is trying to save Andy, but she is outnumbered because the other two, Danny and Simple Sabrina, feel that Andy is old enough to make her own decisions. True, but this is another coddling Andy session, okay? We've seen this since season 1. Karen ends up reminding Andy about all the things that Gary has done. Andy blamed everything on Jasmine. Crazy ex-wife, if she's really his ex-wife, Jasmine. Andy actually blamed all of this, all of Gary's behavior when he tried to squeeze the life out of her and all the lying and the crazy behavior. He blamed it, Andy blamed it on Jasmine. I just want to know when are the sisters going to realize that, chicks like Andy will always choose the man over their friends. Like, this is so interesting to see this little dynamic play out the way it does. Karen cares more than Andy does, and Karen has to learn to let go. Let go, sis. Let her choose Gary, girl. Let her go on because she's going to choose Gary over you. She's a nitwit. What do you expect, right? So Danny tells Karen that she is wrong for wanting to not be a witness to this. I don't agree. Because Karen basically says, I'm not going to stand by and watch you do this. So Danny says, this is your friend. You're wrong. You're wrong. I don't agree. I probably would have walked out too. What would you guys have done if Andy was your friend and she was marrying a Gary? The way that this all came about, basically tricking Andy into marrying him, saying that it's romantic or whatever. I don't know, whatever you want to call this. Would you stand by your friend? Or would you walk out and not want to? I don't want to be witness to it at all. Call me tomorrow. Right? Call me tomorrow. Anyway, drop down in the comments and tell me what you would have done in that situation. Anywho, Sabrina and Danny tell Andy that they will stand by her, but they don't think that she should marry Gary. So Danny and Sabrina stand around like a pair of pick-me's trying to fix Andy's makeup. It really, I'm so confused, right? Andy was dealing with a married man, a man she knew that was married, caused all of this strife and contention, only for her to expect her friends to stick by her when she marries this guy. Andy is so damn selfish, and these women, and I find it crazy that Danny and Sabrina, the ones who Andy could take or leave, They're standing around fixing her makeup. Ciao, bye. Gary and Aaron. So Karen, they're out in the lobby or wherever they are talking, and Karen walks up to Gary and tells Gary that he's a liar, an abuser, and a SOB, and she does not like him. And if he hurts Andy again, she got something for that ASS. Okay, hot and ready, and she ain't talking about the pizza. All right, so Karen ends up walking outside, and she runs into Fatima, who tells Karen again that she did not know that Zach was her ex. You know, Fatima, she tells Karen that it would mean the world to Andy if she supported her. Everything still revolves around Andy and her piss poor decision making. Why? Walk down that aisle with your man by yourself, sis. You chose him over all of your peoples, over your job, over your friends. You could take or leave your friends. You put your friends in predicaments. Sabrina almost lost her job trying to look out for you. And you know she's simple. Anywho, Karen goes to her salon, only to find Pam, who's her assistant. She's another character that's like, is she really needed? Pam, the assistant, is getting it on in Karen's office. She is gross and ghetto, okay? Mrs. Doubtfire would have been cleaning my office. Nasty heifer. That was so gross. And have the audacity to act like she didn't do anything wrong. Moving along. Zach and Rodeo, okay? Rodeo is Danny's man, or whatever he is this week. You know, they're having dinner. Karen ends up calling Zach. She wants him to come to her salon to talk. You know, Zach is feeling himself now because he feels like, yeah, Karen probably wants me. And the last time that he went over there to talk to her, they ended up doing the do in Karen's office. So Karen let him know, like, look, I'll be here waiting. You know, Zach is like, I'm eating. I'll be over there after I'm done eating. She was like, okay, Zach, I'm waiting. Karen, stop stringing that boy along. Because things ain't work out with Aaron and Aaron ain't giving you none and he's not all that. Now you want to go back to Zach. Stop. Leave that boy alone. Is that going to be simple enough to fall for it? We shall see. We shall see. All right. So for whatever reason, I put Maurice in the notes. You know, he's been at the gay club all night waiting for Q. That's the one who stole Calvin's account information and ended up at the bank trying to cash a check from Calvin's little checkbook. Maurice sees him, knocks him out, and drags him out of the club. Okay, that's that. Back to Gary and Andy. Okay, Gary is still waiting on Andy to come out of the dressing room, right? So Aaron is there for support, but he can't stop thinking about Karen. You know, he tells Gary that he and Karen are kind of dating. Baldy, it's a wrap. Okay, she's gonna try to get some, you know. She's going to try to give Zach her buns, and hopefully they'll get back together. It's a wrap for you, Ron. Just hang it up. Flat screen, okay? Gary says that he doesn't want to be alone. I thought that this was very interesting. And Aaron asked him, is it that he can't be alone, which will cause him to do, you know, crazy things, versus him not wanting to be alone, which is manageable. And he basically says both. You know, he says that he can't and he doesn't want to be alone, which I thought was very, very interesting. I thought that was an interesting conversation that two men were having. Interesting. Anyway, meanwhile, backstage, Fatima is now coddling Andy. And Karen is long gone, okay? So they're gassing her up and asking if she's ready to marry Gary, and she gets up and all of a sudden she says, I don't want to do this. And the episode ends. Trust me, I cut out a lot of fluff. No need to bore your ears off with, you know, filler scenes from this raggedy episode. So is Andy going to marry Gary? We won't know till the next episode. Do we care? How do you guys feel about this plot development so far in season 3, right? Yeah, it stinks. Stinks. Season 1 was like, okay, it can only get better from here. Season 2 was like, for real, this is a repetition of season 1. And season 3 is just like, let's just throw caution to the wind and see what happens. So what's going to happen? Like, Gary is going to get stood up at the altar and he's going to get mad and he's going to start stalking Andy and being even more abusive? Or is he going to guilt her into saying yes? She's going to end up marrying him. Then she's going to find out that Gary is in some deep doo-doo with the feds again. And because she's married to him, she basically is going to go down with him too. That's where I see it going. That would at least be interesting. So that's all I got, y'all. Ain't got no more. Drop down in the comments and let me know what you think. I'm really tired of everybody coddling Andy. This is a whole mess. All of this is a mess because of her. Where's Jasmine at? Where's Jasmine? Is she going to run in to the chapel or into the studio, wherever the heck they're at, and ruin this entire thing or stop this or reveal that he's still married? You know, I still think Gary is a scammer. And I don't know what it is that he is trying to get out of Andy, but he is really working hard. I don't believe that he is genuine. He might love Andy, but I think there's still something fishy. And I think that he and Jasmine are possibly in cahoots. That would make this much more interesting than it is now. Anyway, y'all, I am signing off. Drop down in the comments. Let me know what you think. Thanks for listening. As always, until next time. Peace.